I paid into the system, so I will get it all back. The government will never let Social Security run out. They will not dare cut benefits for seniors. If you believe even one of these, you are standing on a trapdoor. Because in 2025, the rules are shifting beneath our feet, quietly, permanently. The trust fund is draining faster than expected. Benefits are being eroded behind closed doors. And Washington is floating reforms that sound helpful until you read the fine print. This is not fear-mongering. This is your retirement. And the worst danger is not in what they are doing. It is in what we assume they will never do. Today, we expose the 3 most dangerous myths millions of Americans still believe about Social Security. And what could happen if you wait until it is too late to learn the truth? Let us begin. You worked for 40 years. You saw those deductions on every paycheck. You kept your end of the deal. So now the government owes you everything back, right? Not exactly. Social Security was never a savings account. It is not sitting in a vault with your name on it. It is a formula, and like any formula, it can be changed. Your monthly check is based on your average earnings over 35 years, adjusted by a government formula called the AIME. If you had gaps in your work history or took lower-paying jobs during tough times, your check may be far smaller than you expected. But even if you earned well, there is another problem. If you file early, your benefit can be cut permanently by up to 30%, and if you earn too much in retirement, some of your benefit can be taxed again. Now, Congress is quietly preparing for what they call modernization. One of the proposals on the table means testing. That means if you saved well or have a pension, they may reduce your Social Security benefit because they think you no longer need it. In other words, you did everything right, and now they are using your responsibility against you. Do not be fooled by the phrase targeted reform. This is not targeting fraud or abuse. It is targeting you. In 2024, a bipartisan group in Congress proposed adjustments to benefits based on retirement income thresholds. If you earned more than $80,000 per year in retirement income, your check would shrink. And the numbers were not indexed for inflation. So what happens to the middle class, the families who worked hard, saved carefully, and built a future? They are the ones being squeezed, not the wealthy, not the corporations, not the fraudsters, you. Because your benefits are not protected by a contract. They are protected by legislation, and that legislation can change with one vote. If you assume that everything you paid in will come back out, you are assuming that promises always survive pressure. History says otherwise. What you need now is clarity. What you deserve is honesty, and what is coming may require action. So before we move forward, ask yourself this. If the government can redefine what earned means, how far are they willing to go before they call your benefits a privilege instead of a right? Let me guess. You have heard it 100 times. The United States can print money. Social Security will always be there. Congress will fix it when the time comes. The government cannot go bankrupt. That belief is comforting. It feels safe, but it is also dangerously incomplete. Because Social Security is not funded by magic. It is funded by payroll taxes. Every dollar paid out today comes from someone working right now. And according to the 2025 Trustees Report, the Social Security Trust Fund will run out by 2033. That is not a rumor. That is the official projection from the agency that runs the program. After 2033, unless Congress acts, only 77% of promised benefits will be payable. Not just for new retirees, for everyone. Let me say that again. If nothing changes, the system will cut benefits by 23% across the board. Not just for the rich, not just for the young, for you. Why is this happening? Because for years the government collected more in taxes than it paid out in benefits. That extra money was placed into the trust fund and then borrowed against. Now, as more people retire and live longer, the system is paying out more than it collects. And the surplus is almost gone. Some still believe Congress will step in at the last minute. That is possible. But the longer they wait, the worse the medicine becomes. Raising the retirement age, reducing future cost of living adjustments, increasing taxes on current workers, or cutting benefits in ways that are not easy to see until it is too late. This is not about whether the government can go bankrupt. It is about whether the Social Security system as it is built today is sustainable. And right now it is not. If you are depending on full benefits to cover your rent, your prescriptions, or your spouse's care, you deserve to know that the safety net is fraying. It is not about panic. It is about preparation, about knowing that the program is not self-correcting. It needs leadership. It needs reform. It needs you to pay attention before the clock runs out. And remember, just because a system ran for 80 years does not mean it can run 80 more without change. For years, politicians have called seniors the untouchable class. They said no one would dare mess with Social Security because seniors vote, and they vote in every election. But here is what they did not say. They do not have to slash your benefits with a headline. They can just trim them quietly behind the scenes. In 2025, the annual cost of living adjustment was 2.5%. But inflation for essentials, groceries, medication, electricity was closer to 5%. That is a cut in real terms. They call it adjustment. But for many seniors, it feels like a pay cut. And then there is Medicare Advantage. More and more people are being pushed into private insurance plans that limit which doctors you can see, delay approvals, and drop hospitals from networks. You still pay your Medicare taxes, but your choices shrink, your bills grow, and your care suffers. Do not be fooled. That is a benefit cut with a pretty name, and they are just getting started. Lawmakers are floating proposals to raise the full retirement age from 67 to 69. That sounds small, but it means working 2 more years, or taking a bigger penalty for retiring early. For someone in their 60s with a bad back, a caregiving role, or a chronic illness. That is not just inconvenient, it is devastating. Some call this modernizing the program. Others call it adjusting for longevity. But let us call it what it really is. Making you work longer to get less, while the people who created the shortfall keep their pensions, their perks, and their private plans. They are not going to cut your benefits with scissors. They are going to chip away a few dollars here, a few years there, until one day you look up and realize the promise you counted on has quietly changed. And here is the most painful part. Most seniors will not notice the change until they are already deep into retirement, when options are limited, when income is fixed, when it is too late to adjust. They do not need to declare a war on retirees. They just need you not to notice. So the next time you hear a politician say, "Do not worry, we are not touching Social Security," ask yourself this. If they really were not touching it, why do you feel like you're already getting less? Assumptions are comforting. They help us sleep at night. But when it comes to Social Security, assumptions can be dangerous. You paid into this system, you planned your retirement around it, and you trusted that the promise would hold. But the truth is, the system is under pressure, and the rules are changing. Not with a loud announcement, but quietly, gradually, until what you thought was guaranteed is no longer there. This is not about fear, it is about readiness. It is about facing facts so you can make better choices. Know your retirement age. Track the official reports. Understand how your benefit is calculated. And most importantly, pay attention when Congress starts talking about reform, because what sounds like policy could be the thing that reshapes your future. Social Security was built to protect workers like you, but protecting it now may require more than faith. It may require a voice, a vote, and a willingness to look past the headlines. You have come too far to be caught off guard. Let us be the generation that saw the storm coming and stood our ground. Let us stay informed. Let us stay prepared. And let us remind every elected official of one simple fact. We earned this, and we are paying attention.